question is very simple question. What is the international community? Who is the international community? Because when I visit Gaza, the people said, where is the international community? No one take action to resolve.
Yeah, this is a very good question, and when we talk about international community, we are first talk about the international NGOs that based and established for protecting the human rights, which is the UN, which is the most important body that should do its work to protect peoples around the world, to protect their lives, to protect their rights, and also the countries that also the individual countries, every countries that calls and that claim that they are democrat and they are committed to human rights values, like US, like Britain, like Western governments, and strong countries and very good countries like Japan, so all these countries has to have a very strong voice against what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Palestine in general. Yes, we condemn what is happening there in Israel, the attacking civilians. So we are against any kind of attacking civilians. Either they are Palestinian, either they are Israeli. But at the same time, what is happening in Gaza now, and what is especially in Gaza, it's kind of genocide. It's kind of ethnic cleansing. So where is the international community? Where is the UN? Where is the countries itself? Every country itself. So we condemn what is happening in Gaza now. We call for the ceasefire, immediate ceasefire. We call for the release of all hostages and captives, Palestinian and Israeli, and we call to lift the blockade on Gaza. So what is happening in Gaza, blockading Gaza, killing people in general. Now we have more than 9,000 civilians being killed. 23rd of them, they are women and children. And preventing them from water, from electricity, from food, from medicine, that is, crime against humanity. This is war crime. So it should be, this blockade and this killing should stop. And we call, most important thing, we called for the solution for all the cause, for all the issue itself. The Palestinian-Israeli conflict should be resolved, we have to reach to the solution, and the solution is to address the root of this conflict. And the root of conflict is the occupation itself, the Israeli occupation. And the resolution and the solution is with the implementing the international resolution, the resolution that issued by the UN, by the that said that the right of Palestinian for self-determination, and also the right to have two states in Israel and Palestine. And until now, this didn't happen, and if it continues, the international resolution on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict didn't implement, we will see more genocide, more ethnic cleansing, more conflict, more war, and this should be stopped now.
Yeah, I disappoint about the UN Security Council. Yeah, France, America, United States, and Russia, China, they cannot determine to help citizens.
Yeah.
How to rebuild the UN Security Council?
Look,
modified?
what we call no, you know what we need now? We need to have a global government. A global government which should be the United Nations itself. United Nations should be reformed to be that body that really has a binding power to its members, to the governments, to the power to enforce them, to bind them, to first, to stop any kind of harming acts, harming activities toward our Mother Earth. This, the misuse of the resources of the Earth that destroy the ecological system of the Earth, the biological diversity of our Mother Earth, and that lead to the global warming, and that we saw it with the climate change. So, and that destroy the possibility for any kind of existence in the future in this land. So this is very important, that we need a real reform that make the UN so power so strong, to bind its members to stop any kind of harming our Mother Earth. This is number one. Number two, we need the UN as a body, not just the Security Council, all the UN body, as all the UN, the United Nations as institution. Also to have the power to bind every member, especially the rich countries, of the members of the United Nations. The rich countries should be participate by a certain percentage of their national income, and UN distributed to the poor countries. So that means that we will decrease the gap between rich and poor. And the fourth thing, which is now it needs to have the power to stop any kind of wars, any kind of conflict, to maintain and to preserve and to save the global peace and global security. And this is, through stop any kind, first make resolution of conflict before the conflict it happens, and also that has the power to punish every country that dare to wage war, or to wage coup, or to attack human rights. This should be one of the powers of this, of the UN, and unfortunately, this power should be under the hand of the Security Council, which is established for this thing. But unfortunately, the Security Council is, has the limit power, and based on veto rights for only five countries, that they use their veto to destroy people, to destroy countries, to preserve their interests. So the security, the members of the veto countries, they are member of their countries. They are not member of the Security Council, who is the international body that came to save the people. So yes, we need to make amendment in the Security Council to give it its power, not with the veto. Not any country, one of the five countries doesn't like this resolution and it's against its own interest, then they, and this is what's happening now in Gaza, and it's happened in Ukraine, and it's happened in many countries around the world. So we need really reforms. We need really reforms. UN has to have teeth. And the teeth, if it's that force its countries, the countries around the world, to be committed to the human rights, to the global peace, to safety and integrity of our Mother Earth, and also to the development and to fight poverty.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
We have to change as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. last week I met the ambassador of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
He said, UN decision, we reject, he said. 121 countries demand stop the war immediately, but he said reject, because we have G7. G7 support us, they said. Japan is a member of G7. What accept to Japanese government?
Look, especially Japan is the most important countries that has the moral to say no to what's happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
Japan has a very strong moral power, especially that it's the country that suffered from the Nagasaki and Hiroshima nuclear bombs. And you are the country that rise after this war, in economic and in politics and everything, So I salute Japan in this field that it gave a very big model. So Japan, you have the power, the moral power to say no to what's happening in Gaza. What's happening in Gaza, it's really genocide. It's really ethnic cleansing. It is not war against Hamas. It is the war against Palestinian people. And now Japan and every great country like Japan should do its work. So don't wait for those, unfortunately, US and as a government, Britain as a government, UK as a government, and they unfortunately they back Israel as a government. But while now a huge number of congressmen and women against what is happening in there, it is a very big test on our humanity. So I really, really encourage Japan to raise its voice for stopping this war. The ceasefire should be now, and most importantly, this issue should be solved now. The UN resolution on the Palestinian Israel should be implemented. The resolutions that give the Palestinian rights for self-administration, for their own country, for establishing country, the solution that based on two states should be implemented, and Japan should play. I encourage Japan. I am here in Tokyo. I'm encouraging the Japanese government to do its work in that way. If Japanese didn't rise as an authority and as a people didn't raise their voice, now when they will raise their voice until all Palestinian displaced from their land, killed, injured. So Japan is under a very big, great test, to defend on humanity. And this is number one. And then number two, I also encourage Japan to do its work for empowering the UN to be the global government, to be that binding international mechanisms that, bind all the governments around the world to be committed to as I said, to the safety of our Mother Earth, and also to protect human rights and to preserve global peace, and also to fight poverty. That is very important, and I trust Japan. It has a very big, good reputation, and deserve Japan to lead these efforts. So the time that Japan to be behind the scene, just focusing on its own economy, no, we need the voice of Japan to be raised, especially that